and new beginnings. To understand more on this business session 2, which is the new trends in F&B in post-pandemic world, I welcome the moderator, Mr. Pradeep Shetty, President HRAWI, on stage. I'm sorry, the moderator is changed to Mr. Nirav Gandhi. Can I have him on stage? I would like to invite the very first speaker, Mr. Ganesh Kumar, Corporate Director, Qmin Operations across verticals, Head of Qmin, the youngest brand from Indian Hotels Company Limited, encompassing various verticals of new business like food delivery, shops, cafes, and food trucks. The second speaker, Mr. Anurag Mehrotra, co-founder and CEO Chow. A leader across the industry, he is instrumental in the growth and efficiency of Chow. The third, and my most favorite, Chef Rakesh Sethi, Corporate Executive Chef, Radisson Hotel Group, the host of famous television film release show, Mirch Masala on Star Plus, with huge running length of 160 episodes. I was a big fan of that. Chef Sethi was a part of the team which created Guinness World of Record by preparing 918 kgs of khichdi at the World Food India exhibition in 2017. And the fourth speaker, Mr. Sandeep, Talaulicar, Managing Director, Mr. Chow, Mumbai, an executive member of the Hotel and Restaurant Association of Western India, and an EC member and fellow of CII-IGBC. A big round of applause to this most eminent panel, and I give the stage over to yours. Thank you.
Much lesser resources to do that. You can get all this outsourced. You own the product. So it's a great opportunity for all of you to really say, I want to be the best in my city and I'll offer it as an express offering to consumers at home. And I think it's a brilliant thing to do. What's your experience in Tier 2, Tier 3?
So, I would say Tier 2, Tier 3 city is the future of India. Is it currently performing? No, not at all. For us also, the 5 major cities contribute to almost 80% of our revenues. Right? But having said that, if you can create value, see, internet penetration has already happened in Tier 3 cities, smartphones, it's accessible. So technology adoption is already there. If you can create value for these customers in Tier 2 and Tier 3 cities with their product and the pricing, the right pricing, the price value is what we say, it's the key. If you can create that, see, you need to understand Tier 2, Tier 3 cities are also looking at these metros and there's an aspirational quotient. They want to do what the urban population is doing.
Right.
So that's where the future is. And like Anurag rightly said, if you start early, then you can create that brand and be the dominant player in those markets. So definitely the future of India is Tier 2, Tier 3 cities.
Of course, because you are in a classic place.
Yes, actually, we are expanding in Tier 2, Tier 3 cities also, and also rightly said, the future is there. Now, there is another thought in this, which is Tier 2 or Tier 3 city might be a little slow or late, but they are reaching to where the metropolitan and the bigger cities are at this moment. Why? Because at Tier 2 cities, women at home were still cooking. You will all agree to one fact that pandemic brought in and too many chefs were born during the period. Everybody wanted to cook, they had nothing else to do. And this aspiration of becoming a chef, they started cooking at home. So when we talk so much negative about pandemic's effects, I also see a very optimistically that we are all growing. Too many people becoming chef, there was a growth in grocery. The people used to start ordering more things at home to try new dishes. Once home delivery is growing, takeaways is growing, cooking at home is growing, then where is the negativity that everything is taxed? I mean, there is positive side also to that pandemic. So coming back to the question, so tier 2 and tier 3 cities might be slightly little late, but they are reaching, and there is a demand, there is a growth, and despite people cooking at home, I think aspiration level is so high that there will be a big demand of people ordering, and home delivery and takeaway boom there as well.
You are operating in tier 2, tier 3 also.
So what happened was our first focus was Bombay. We wanted to sell chows to only Mumbaikars, and we said, look, we are not trying to get into very big numbers and all, so we're going to have fun in the business. But then as the business became bigger and bigger, and as customers took us more and more seriously, thank God, we realized that one of our best selling points was consistency, quality. And till the time we could not keep the food consistent at that quality, we should not expand. So we started an internal, and this is a long time ago, before we started an internal chef school. Today, when we opened Bandra, when we first opened in Bandra, it took us, I think, what, it was 7 months before anybody would recognize us. We were putting money into the game. Barnier, when it opened in Pune, within 3 months took off. Nagpur stopped us. Within 1 month we are successful. So I don't know whether there's a recipe that is common to all of us sitting here. It's about the strata of market that you're trying to get into, the type of food you get to, and your model.
So what I understand is that, okay,
there are certain tier 2s. Thana, for example, for me was always a tier 2. Look at Thana today. It beats Bombay. I mean, Thana was a success.
Nasik, for example, trying to do his OPEX, if he did a separate cloud kitchen, his OPEX would be the same, versus almost similar to Bombay, except the rent bit of it. You know, human resource, the capex cost, is almost the same. So, but the orders are 1/3. The sales is 1/3. Yeah, it's surprising. So, I think.
I'm just trying to see. I think it's tier 2, tier 3. It's just a matter of time. It's coming. So, my only request will be start early because you have the window. You have the assets. I think classic case where you don't pay rental, you don't need to worry about rentals. You have the human capacity on the ground. So I think there's no reason why you should not be bullish and committing to that. I think it's a great opportunity. Your marketing cost, believe me, will be nowhere near to what you need to spend in Delhi and Bombay. It's way down here.
So I think tier 2, tier 3 need to focus. Of course, get into it. Dual role, dine-in as well as deliveries online, maybe with Zomato, Swiggy or anybody else directly also, if you have the entire ecosystem. But spend on marketing. Product is given, product is going to be good.
Okay, so it's marketing like it's a word we use like interchangeably for too many things. It's not the case. It's just about marketing comes at the last when you are ready to launch. And when you are saying ready to launch, you are saying, listen, I've identified the category, the price point, the operating matrix, and now it is about committing myself to the customer through these channels and building the brand. True, right? So there I would say, don't see it interchangeably, as I think Chef said. I'm a firm believer these are two different ballgames. Because if you see it interchangeably, you will not commit to this business. Keep it boxed separately, okay? It's a different DNA when you are servicing consumers, delivery business. I'll just give you a classic case. It's about exciting the 5 senses of the consumer. The consumer doesn't eat the food the moment it comes. It's the packaging. And if you have a boring packaging, it's just a downer. Already that perception is made. So it's from packaging, when you open, the smell that comes out, the visual. Last thing is which I bite. So you have
important issue. percentage or rupee value, doesn't matter.
So our value is around anywhere between 4.5 to 5%.
Packaging.
Yeah, of the
5% definitely.
Qmin.
Ours is slightly higher because our basket size is also
Premium, yeah.
because we have this family feast offerings and all that. Ours is about 10%.
10%. Chef?
And we also believe in sustainable packaging and all that, so
Indeed, ours is high because we also represent a bottle brand, so we got to live up to that expectations. Also, it has to be a biodegradable packaging. We are all working on sustainable ways of working, and we cannot have anything, our boxing, the whole total, the inner box and the outer box that we send as a brunch has to be there. So there is quite a amount of packaging that is going. So I think we are between 7 to 10%.
Good. So let's summarize quickly and then we'll have some Q&As. I think the big takeaway was yes, tier 2, tier 3 should get in. Of course, Bombay should get in. Use a kitchen for dual purposes. I think the biggest mistake a lot of independent hoteliers, restaurateurs are doing is not separating the team for the marketing and operations. I think Chef, you mentioned that to me.
Yes, now. But a larger population has also failed. What we are the ones who are successful like you. Why do you feel people fail? And my second question to you is, you've spoken a lot, and I totally agree with you about creating a brand. But when I look at Charcoal Eats, and you mentioned that 95% of your ordering comes from Zomato and Swiggy. Recently, when I look at Qmin, where I think most of all the orders are coming through your app. So are you looking at a shift? Moving from the Zomato, when you've already spent on your marketing, when you've already created a brand, do you really need Swiggy and Zomato to give you 95% of your sale? Or would you want to, moving forward, go in the Qmin way of building your own app?
Let me answer the second question. Swiggy and Zomato. I think there's no two way about it. Simple reason, if you have to put another third player in the business of delivery, I think somebody has to write a $10 billion check to do that. Okay? So they are here, they are your partners in the delivery business. Consumers go there and do the research, that's the playground. You need to find a way to work with them. And we have figured this out, how to work with them. 95% business comes from them, 5% comes organically to us, which is our website, call center and all that. Honestly, I don't see over the next 12 months this changing too much. I think we'll continue operating in this manner. We have some plans to open some food courts, and I think that will see as we go. So that will shift some organic at a weighted average level. Now your first question, a lot of people try, but few succeed. It's not sending a PDF into your email box, it's about sending a product to your house. So it's not an Excel-based business that you can, as a finance guy, will say, "Arey, ye ho jayega." Aisa nahi hoga business. You have to ensure that your whole engine, which is consisting of 100 moving parts, have to operate extremely efficiently to do that. Will you have challenges? Every day something will go wrong, okay, which you cannot imagine. But I think that's life. You need to face it. You need to build the redundancies to address that. Will you get perfection in this business? Never. Don't even chase that. Okay? I think continue operating and just become efficient in terms of the way you run your execution. If you run your operations very efficiently, I think you have a winner at your hand. Brands are built out of what you execute, not first you build the brand and then execute. It's the other way around. And that's why I keep emphasizing that I think you will start seeing what we are doing in the next maybe 2 weeks' time, because a lot of work was going on the back end. So you will hear all that coming out over the next 90 to 100 days. Now we feel confident that we can invest into the brand and build it up. Does that answer the question? And I'll just one thought was there. I'll just share with you, which is a very interesting trend. Can you imagine food getting delivered in 10 minutes? Food, not your instant grocery. It's happening. We are partnered with Zomato that has gone live in Gurgaon, called the Pods. It's going live in Bangalore this week. And we are in an exclusive partnership with Zepto, and that will go live next week. Now, can you imagine? We never thought that we can actually, consumer wants food in 10 minutes. Okay, that's the challenge for all of us. Consumer wants that. And those numbers are staggering. These numbers are just so huge. Just to give you a sense, Zepto alone, if I not thinking, is servicing 2 lakh orders a day, not on food, overall. But imagine some part of this gets into the food business, which they are now working on. It's going to be insane numbers. So there is a massive shift happening. You decide whether you want to ride it or you want to just be on the sideline and see it happening. And I'm requesting all of you to ensure you board the ship.
Yeah.
This question is, by the way, congratulations, Chef Sethi, on being India's top chef. It was given by the Ministry of Tourism Award. Anurag, a question for you, before cross-questioning as well. 10 minutes in Zepto, but isn't it price-conscious market? Today, Zepto is a client, tomorrow somebody else is buying your product because you have 1 rupee less, 1 rupee more. Isn't your product, the 10-minute on Zepto delivery, very, very price-conscious, discounting product?
No, not at all. Not at all.
I've seen Swiggy data. They've said if the product is 2 rupees cheaper, the product sells faster.
No, that's not the case.
Okay.
So again, see, it's late, right? It's a misnomer that price the product so cheap, customer will buy. I think no, it's not happening. The decision making happens, what is the brand? What is my experience? What is my circle telling me about this brand? That's when the customer comes and tries you. And when he tries or she tries you, if the experience is great, you have got the customer. So it's not the price.
And
price is the important factor, but not the driving factor.
Okay, my only question is to the panel as well. Are your staff costs increasing in Tier 2 and Tier 3 regions compared to Bombay? Are you willing to pay more, higher, better?
I mean, just acquiring the right talent is now becoming a challenge. Of course, the cost, when you have a better chef, you pay better remuneration for them. Of course, and people are now shifting back to their hometowns. People have left metropolitan and left their jobs and gone to hometowns. So the talent has reached to some smaller cities also where they belong to. They're trying to either come up with something of their own or they're join the restaurants or the hotels within their city. So there is a talent drain from bigger cities to smaller, even outside industry. However, to acquire a good talent, you will of course have to increase the price that you pay for that. I don't want to say that you throw cashew nuts, but yes, you need to pay more for the better skilled people.
Which is the perfect thing to do. The more you pay, the better you get. Often.
See, Tier 2, Tier 3 cities are going to bring in talent from the metros, right? Or the Tier 2 cities will move people to Tier 3. So you're going to match up the salaries for him to hold him there. So I think that's been in our industry. Any other questions?
I have a question.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Since packaging is the most common thing in delivery, so how challenging it is to get good quality packaging made in India?
Absolutely. I think the packaging industry in our country has really improved in the last couple of years. We are not importing any of the packaging. Everything that we have, it's a sustainable line of packaging that we have at Qmin. We are not reliant on any imported products. So, and I think in the food delivery business now, exciting things are happening. People, there are brands like Pot, which is giving in clay pot packaging. Glass bottles. People are doing innovative things, trying to replicate the restaurant experience at home. So I think exciting things are happening, and people are using existing resources to innovate and see, how they can create that value in terms of the packaging experience. And like Anurag said, for the food delivery, when the food is delivered at home, the first thing that you do is, the first touch point is the packaging. So that has to be, well thought of.
So, I want to let you know that when Chow started about 16 years ago, our packaging cost was 5%. And please understand that nobody was serious about delivery only at that time. For a 5% cost, we made sure that our packaging at that time, we worked with a vendor, the largest plastic manufacturer in Mumbai, to create a rectangular package, which today is so common. We made them go black, so common. Made them microwave friendly, today is so common. Okay, today a 5% food cost is very common. But then, packaging cost is very common, but then it was not. Let me tell you, you know me, I'm a green crusader. One day, we decided to go with paper. The housewives cried bloody murder and threatened to stop buying our product because they wanted those containers where they stored their spices and stuff like that. So it's not only the food, every part of your packaging has to be friendly not only to the housewife but to Gangubai. Please don't, I'm not being condescending. I have a Gangubai at home, Malti. She's the first person who told me, I don't know what you're doing in the office, but those stickers that you're using don't go away and my packaging does not look good anymore. And I was like, my God, I didn't think of this. Gangubai thought of it. Guys, it's a very exciting business. Everybody should get it. We need the competition.
Guys, last question.
Yeah, Nirav, I'd just like to share my experience with all my friends and colleagues here. In the 80s and 90s, I had a very nice popular restaurant at Khar West in Mumbai called Pinda Dhaba. When Chinese food came in and we added some Chinese menu and then certain other cuisines came in and it got diluted, we changed the name of Pinda Dhaba to something else and then something else happened and something else. It moved on. Recently, my son felt that because of Cloud Kitchen, we can start again Pinda Dhaba and you write the whole menu of Pinda Dhaba online. So there's no Pinda Dhaba now, but if you see Google, there's 5,050 views this month itself of Pinda Dhaba. And over 1,505 people have viewed the profile specifically. In fact, 15 people even came down to the area to locate where is Pinda Dhaba. We want to
A little louder with the clapping. Yeah, that's really nice. So much. And before we break for lunch, there's just one announcement that I would like to make.